Okay, good morning, everyone. I am back and I hope that you're enjoying your Friday morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. Thank you for coming back to my channel. I was in a discussion, as you probably already know, with several people and a certain special bratwurst. And Cerulean Gray brought up a gene called OCA2. Now, I don't work with OCA2 personally, but whenever he mentions things or whenever certain people mention things, I tend to look it up. Nicole's View, Soul Alchemy, I'm just throwing names out. Charles Faulkner, BGS, Tori and Rain. When people throw things out, I tend to look these things up. You know, Tony Garrison has thrown things out, and I look them up. And I'm not saying that's something you have to do, but it's just something that I do. I'm an avid reader, and I'll leave it at that. So going on to and that's not me bragging or anything, everybody can read, but it's not really just what you read, it's what you are gaining from what you're reading, what you're absorbing. And so he mentioned OCA2 gene, and I just noticed on the NIH website they have the OCA gene, an article that was put out a few days ago. So the OCA gene is important for eye color, and it is also therefore important for melanocyte function. And so here it is literally a melanosomal transmembrane protein on the membrane of melanocytes. Melanin, of course, we know is the substance that gives our skin, hair, and eyes their color. Without the color, you have metabolic issues. Not only is it difficult for you to be in the sun, that's primary, but without being in the sun and gaining that vitamin D and having the synthesis of certain proteins and the activation of some DNA, you have an effect on your metabolism. So, with that, apologize for that, those interruptions. With that, they also talk about um, it was also called the P gene. So, OCA2 was originally thought of as the P gene with this P protein. And although the P protein's function is not clearly known, we know that P stands for pigmentation, and we know that these melanosomes or melanocyte cells, there is some metabolic function attached to that. So if I go back, because there are a lot of genes related to OCA2 and albinism, but if we just look at some of the images, it will give you a clearer understanding. Because a lot of times going through the genetic studies and going through a lot of the work that's done, people may not understand or may not be ready to absorb that information just yet. So I'm trying to draw you into understanding what this albinism is. You can have albino Black people. You can have, of course, albinism is what makes a person considered white for the most part. And we also have, okay, I need to turn something off because this beeping is just not, it's just getting on my nerves right now. So hold on one moment here. Let's see. I'm just gonna turn that off. Okay, I'm back. I apologize for that. So what we have here is albinism shown in different ways. And if you're here, good morning to everybody who's here watching this, or good afternoon to you. Let's see. So I won't be too much longer. I know people have things they want to do. So while that loads, I'm going to go back to the images. So here they describe OCA2 in detail. You have a minimal amount of melanin pigment, It's less severe. The skin is a creamy white color. The hair might be light yellow, blonde, or light brown. Either way, there are metabolic differences between the people who are able to absorb sun and those who don't have that ability. Those who are, for a long time, the stereotype of people with albinism, it was thought that they were not as intelligent or not as empathetic. And that is clinically relevant because they find that that is somewhat true, because melanin is also related with neuronal function, so nerve function, brain function, and metabolic function throughout the brain itself. The brain has its own metabolism, as we know. The liver has its own metabolism. So people who are albino are less likely to process, like true albinism, are less likely to process food and process metabolites the same way as those who are melanated can. So here's how they break down some of the genes responsible for albinism, and they have it grouped. They have people grouped into different pairs. But the what is this? Oh, they did mass spec on some of the proteins, and they've broken down the amino acids that are responsible. So in humans, you have the P methionine 318 isoleucine. There's a mutation there. You also have P aspartate 486 tyrosine. That's a mutation. And you have P lysine 527 arginine. So you have three different mutations that are found in several species. You know, the Homo sapiens, the pan troglodytes, the macaque, the mouse, the rat, and so forth. The dog. You have the xenopus frog. You have the melanogaster, which is a fruit fly, and all the way down. They have a lot of their data. They have source publications here. They have an article, Molecular Genetic Studies and Delineation of the Oculocutaneous Albinism Phenotype in the Pakistani population. So this is not just something that you see in Europe. This is something throughout the world. I hope that this was interesting to you. They have some publications, so you can go, I'll put this link as well in the description box, and you can go to this link and look up these figures yourself if you want. They have plenty of citations about this concept, understanding the metabolism that's different between people who are with albinism and those who don't have albinism. But I'll leave you. This is the end of my video. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Let's see, I'm gonna try to go back to this part and see what I get here. Hey, good morning. I see y'all here. So I'm gonna paste this in the hope the music isn't too loud. I'll post this in the chat room. Good morning. I didn't know y'all were gonna show up. I actually forgot to put it on private, and I realized it was saying, you're not private, so it's fine. But thank you for being here, you guys. I'm gonna post this video here when I end the hangout. And hey, Tony, what's going on? Good morning, everybody. So I'm going to post another video on the FOXP2 gene that's coming up next. So y'all stay tuned. Y'all have a good morning, good Friday, and I'll holla. Peace.